taking the time to be part of this training. My name is Michelle Hart. I am a clinical nutritionist, and I am here in front of you because I had to recover my own health. And when I was younger, I starved myself to be thin, which then broke my bones down. And I developed an accelerating aging disease, and it was osteoporosis. I also lost the ability to have proper hormone function. So I was like at the bottom of my barrel. And I knew I wanted to have a better life. And so I wanted to search out how can I be optimal, because right now, like at that time, I was not. I was thin as a rake. I was 30 pounds underweight. My hair was falling out. I had no energy. I could hardly get out of bed. I was so tired. And it was because I wanted to be slim. And I did everything I could to be slim, but I did all the wrong things to be slim. And so I wanted to find the answer. What is our best diet to be healthy and to be able to enjoy the foods that I love to eat while still being slim? Like, isn't there something out there that would do that? And so I spent like decades and decades of time to figure out what our optimal diet was so that we can actually enjoy our foods and look and feel the best. And then from there, I discovered that it wasn't just diet. That was a big part of it, but there's more to it. And so what I discovered then was it was also that we were toxic, and we are carrying around all these toxic chemicals in our bodies. And they're also disrupting our ability to, hi Val from Nova Scotia, also disrupting our ability to be optimal. Because in fact, we are now born toxic, 237 different chemicals in the umbilical cord of babies that are now born. And they are mercury and plastic derivatives. So if you find that you're a male and you're starting to get breasts, it's because we're holding on to plastics in our body, and we need to eliminate these plastics. They are not meant to be in our bodies. In fact, we're carrying around about the size of a credit card of plastic in our bodies at any one time, over the age of 40. And so we know that that's not good, but we know that we can do things to eliminate that. And one of the ways is through proper detoxification. So I figured out the diet piece. I figured out the detox piece. And then there was another piece because you can't stop there. Hi, Larry. The third piece was the daily routine. We are just not in sync anymore with our circadian rhythms. What that means is our hormones are off. And so we need to get our hormones back into balance. But none of this is about grabbing the next shiny pill, shiny object. It's actually living back into our natural principles. And so getting our circadian rhythm back, following a daily routine. And this means getting outside as much as you can and eating at the same time and having your water. So I pulled together this ultimate plan, which has 3 pillars. It rests on 3 pillars: the diet, the detox, and the daily routine. This is the framework that we all need to follow and think about if anybody here wants to be optimal. Now, today we are going to be talking about the center of everything, and that is our brain, because the body follows the brain. So if we can have a good brain, a good mindset, everything can work properly. Because what happens if you don't? You can't think properly, can you? And so you're not apt to eat the way you know you need to eat. You're not apt to eat, take some, drops to be able to clear away the toxins because you forget. You're not apt to get outside and maybe get some movement because you're tired. Well, we need to get a proper brain for everything to work. So today we're going to talk a lot about brain function, mindset, okay? So I'm going to say hi to everybody. Thank you for popping in, and I'm going to start the training right now. So again, as I mentioned, this is the final step to the Slim, Strong, and Sexy Forever program that I actually developed, last 2021. And it really is going beyond getting slim, strong, and sexy. It's so much about the mindset. And so we're going to be talking about the final step today, and that's going beyond. Okay. So I just want to share with you again that this program is available for free for everyone watching under the guides section in the Fit and Healthy community. This community is for you. This community is for us all to come together to actually move past where we are, version A, to where we want to be, version B, which is as optimal as we possibly can. Why? Because this world, we're meant to have an adventurous enjoyable life. Okay. And so we need to do things to be able to do that. And one of the ways is through learning. And so that's why I would offer this program to you all for free. Okay. So this is the last step in the final program. And this program is specifically designed to actually help you get strong to get slim. That means instead of starving your weight, instead of depriving your weight, instead of giving up all the things you love and knuckle fisting your weight like I did 20, 30 years ago and got into trouble. No, we're doing this in a different way. We're going to do this in a way where we're going to nourish our body, nourish our brains, nourish our emotions, okay? To then be able to easily like slip away this extra fat, build the strong muscle, and then feel sexy in our clothes and our bikini, looking in the mirror naked, feeling really good about yourself. That's this entire program. And if you do follow the program, you are guaranteed pretty much, 20, 30, 37 pounds in just 12 weeks. Look and feel 10 years younger, but also keep it off for life because you've actually done the work to be able to transform your metabolism to then be able to be optimal. Okay. And I always start with, what is optimal to you? What is sexy to you? What is slim and strong to you? We've got to remember these images. We need to keep them front and center because if we keep looking at them and feeling them and being that now, you are pretty much guaranteed to be that. Okay. And so we really need to guard our thoughts, what we see, who we spend our time with. You need to visit. We actually need to be like vigilant about this more than ever. Okay. And again, a little bit about me. I am a clinical nutritionist. I've been doing this for 21 years. Okay. It is my life's work because I wanted to find the answer to what optimal was. Okay. And so that's why I'm actually in front of you today. And again, I've helped tens of thousands of, over 21 years, so many people over the years. And the system does work. And so your goal is to just follow the steps, be consistent, and you will get your results. It's all about the system. And the system really sits on 9 steps, okay? 1 step at a time. And always, 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 if you're going to embark in any kind of a system, you really want to make sure it's customized to you. For example, if you want to lose weight, you want to make sure that what you're following is customized to you. If you're going to say, even in business, if you want to excel in business and you have this goal, you need it to be customized to your business, not to your neighbor's business, but actually to you. It needs to be customized to you. So there are 9 steps, and today we've done all the 9. We're going to go right to beyond 9, which is 10, which is super exciting. So I'm going to go to that slide right now. Okay, so I do want you to imagine, like really imagine, feel it in your body, to really go from what you think is impossible, like this dream body, this dream health, this dream life. I really want you to use your imagination. Okay, let's get away from what we think is realistic. Forget that. Let's go back to being a kid again. Let's go back to feeling like that you're invincible, because you actually are. Okay, and so I want you to really think about, how does it feel to be like superhuman? What does that look like for you? And I really know you can do it. Okay, I did it. I feel pretty superhuman, and I'm not special. Okay, I'm not even that smart. I just did the steps and I never gave up. All right, so if I can do it, my goodness, anybody can do it. So I want you to shift your mindset to really believing in the possible. Okay, so you can do this. You can get into your best shape, your best body, your best health, while taking care of yourself and not feeling like selfish. This is where I find people fall off the rails, is they feel that, oh, if I take all this care for myself, it feels selfish. I'm like embarrassed because I'm so selfish doing all these things. Well, actually, if you really think about it, you're not, because really, if you're selfish not to take care of yourself, because really people see what you do. And if you take care of yourself, then they know that they can take care of themselves, and we would be in a much better place than we are now. In fact, I heard this one quote from, Ed Milet. He wrote this book called One More, and it's how to have ultimate health and happiness. And what he said was really, really hit home with me, which was, if you're somebody who wants to, raise healthy kids or raise healthy grandkids, the biggest neglect that you can give them is not optimizing yourself. It's not like giving up drinking, giving up smoking. He said those are just, sidelines. But really, if they see that you're not taking care of yourself and you're not optimizing yourself, where's the role model? Like, where is the role model? Because don't you see that if you see something possible, don't you feel like that can be true? Well, what about us being what's possible? Because really, there has to be somebody in the family. There needs to be the one to really take control and go, listen, like, I'm going to be the one. I'm going to be the one because I'm so tired of being sick and tired that now I want to live a better life. Okay. And then when you do, other people will notice and you will actually help them as well. And what I noticed was, if we're going to go beyond being slim, strong, and sexy forever, why aren't more people like this? Why aren't more people, busy people, why aren't we in a better state of health? Why aren't we stronger than ever? Why aren't we feeling confident? Why are we doing this? Because we have all the technology in the world. I mean, we can fly to Mars. We can do anything possible. But why aren't we doing this? Well, I really believe there's 3 reasons why. Okay, the first reason is they really do think they're selfish. They think that, I'm not, I'm not sure where the selfishness comes in. Maybe it's from past programming. It might be. But really, we always think about, we always have to take care of everybody else and not ourselves. Like, we even take care of our animals more than we do take care of ourselves. Isn't that true? Don't you go out and, take care of your dogs and your cats and buy them the best of this and that? But what about yourself? That really doesn't make sense, does it? And if you really think about it, when you're in the airplane and they always ask you for the oxygen mask, you always put it on yourself first to then be able to take care of others after. So there is a reason for all this, okay? So I really want you to think about, it's not selfish. No, it's self-care. We need to do more self-care, okay? So the second reason why I find most busy people fail to get slim, strong, and sexy and stay that way is they're stuck. They're stuck in these old patterns, old ways of living, old ways of seeing themselves, okay? And what happens is they start on a path of, whoa, this is exciting. I've got this new program. I'm motivated because it's something new. And I'm going to go ahead with it, right? And this is great. But how long does that last? Typically not very long. Maybe 3 days, maybe a week, maybe 3 weeks at the most. But what about what's going to move the dial and keep it there? Well, it's being consistent. Why aren't we consistent? It's because we're still stuck. We're stuck and we need to get unstuck. We need to unwind old patterns, because if you don't, you'll go back to those old patterns. And you know this to be true because this might be you. All right. And so this is actually where coaching really comes in. I know for me, I have a number of coaches, but they help me unwind old ways of thinking to think of new ways of thinking. And then when you do, things actually start to click, and you realize your potential by doing that. But really, we need to know that everyone has these old patterns, and we need to get unstuck to be able to move forward, okay, for it to be able to stick. The third reason I find most busy people fail to get slim, strong, and sexy and stay that way is they allow other people to keep them in mediocrity. So what happens is you're only as healthy and as strong and as slim as the 5 people you surround yourself with. So really take a look at the 5 people that you surround yourself with most times. Are they slim? Are they strong? And are they confident? Are they where you want to be? Okay. If not, you will be just like them. And we actually know this with studies. They've done this with kids, where they looked at kids that grew up with, that hung around kids that were more overweight, and then kids that were at a good weight. And what they found were the kids that were at a good weight, but then started hanging around those that were overweight became overweight as well. So there are a lot of studies that actually show this. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because this is, remember, when you're around these people and you hear them and you see them, this is what your body believes to be true. And this is where you're going to end up. So if you think about it, that all makes sense, doesn't it? Okay. And so what happens is a lot of people, unfortunately, they're lazy. They're lazy because it's easier to do less than more. That's the majority of the people out there. But if you're wanting to go beyond and actually get into your optimal self, you need to change what you're doing, right? You need to, if you're going to be the one, you need to actually change what you're doing. And we want to know that we need to do things differently than most other people. Okay, so you kind of have to be the leader of the crowd. And you can be a silent leader, but just know that you need to move away from what average is. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop this share and I'm going to go to see if anybody's had any any aha moments. Okay, I love, like this is big stuff. You know, this is really going into some deep stuff. And it can really do that. Why? Because we're ready for it. Okay, no more hiding in the closet. What's that going to do? So we need to face our things. And I love that we're diving deeper into how we can make this stick and be our best. So I have a question here. I heard that the gut is the second brain in the body. Do you agree? Yes. So yes, absolutely. And that's a great question. So what happens is you have a gut and a brain and they connect to the vagus nerve. And so there's a highway connecting between the two. So however your gut health is your brain health. However your brain health is your gut health. And we know this also if somebody here has had concussions, especially multiple concussions. So yes, we have concussions, we bang our heads, we joggle things around, but what happens? We've actually affected the gut as well, and they know this. So anybody who's come to me with concussions, I actually treat their gut and their brain together because we know that they're connected to the vagus nerve. So absolutely. In fact, did you know that the gut actually makes most of your neurotransmitters? We thought it was just the brain before, but it's the gut that makes a lot of them. And those are things like dopamine, which is motivation and drive. It's made in the gut. Serotonin, which is helping you with a good mood, it's made in the gut. Melatonin has actually been found to be made in the gut. So when we talk about the brain, we talk about the gut. So we actually need to work the two together. This talk really is, and that's a great question. This talk really is about, I've done talks a lot about the gut. This one here is about how to think your way to optimal health. Because even just think about this just for a sec. If you think happy thoughts, you're actually going to change the gut microflora and the gut neurotransmitters to create neurotransmitters of happiness because you actually thought them. And so this is why you want to guard what you see, what you hear, what you watch, because you will be that. So if you're watching the news all day, you will be that. You will live in fear, you will have doubt, you will be all these other things. Okay, is that where you want to live? Well, that's where you're going to live. It's because you're putting yourself in that environment. What about guarding that? Because actually we have to be very, very vigilant. We have to guard that. Go, wait a minute. No, instead, you know what? I'm going to read books and I'm a bookworm, everyday hero. And so if you see that, oh, that's me. I'm an everyday hero. This is who you are. You basically are reinventing yourself. I have so many books that I surround myself with, and I read and just immerse myself in this because maybe I look at the world with rose-colored glasses, but wouldn't you want to do more of that than you would the other way? Because you get to choose how you want to live, right? You're absolutely right. Well, that's great. So I just want to say hi to Val from Nova Scotia. That's awesome. And hi to Joanne and Mike. I'm so glad you're here. And everyone else, if you just want to say who you are and where you're calling from, that would be super, super great. I think you're special as well for being on this live training. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, again, there's never a bad question. There's never, never a silly comment. We're all here to do one thing, and that is optimize our health and our lives, and then people surrounding us as well. Because however we are, they are. Okay. You can't change them. You can only change yourself. Yeah, so that's really good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the training today, all about cultivating this mindset that we're going after now. So what I shared with you so far was in order for you to really be slim, strong, and sexy and stay that way forever and going basically beyond this, is you really need to think differently. Okay, you've got to think differently, because what you're doing, the past is the past. Okay, we need to reinvent ourselves. Okay, and so this is kind of the fun part, because you get to imagine being superhuman, being a superhero. You can imagine yourself there, because you can do this. All right, like I said, I've done this. I've reinvented myself for sure, and I've got another reinvention I'm working on as well, version C. But man, does it ever feel good to be version B right now? It's a lot better than where I was, version A. And so there's always a level up. And here's the thing, you want to think differently, okay? And so if you're stuck in a rut, find a goal. Get a goal and work towards it. Get a goal and get excited about it. Get a goal and work towards it, okay? So it does need you to think differently. And so what I want to share with you today are actually the secrets to really, really shifting the mindset from the impossible, the thought of you in this impossible, to the absolute possible, where you can actually take care of yourself and without feeling selfish, okay? So that you can actually take care of others as well. And before I actually show you just what to do, this secret actually really works. And a lot of it I learned from one of my, actually I was hired by Bob Proctor, the guy, the gentleman from The Secret. So he's like the godfather of mindset back in the day. And he's just recently passed, but wow, what an impact he made. I mean, he shifted the mindset of millions and millions of followers into a way where they were able to optimize their life to where they were, to where they are now. And he had you think your way to that. And so I was very grateful that I was able to write the book with him. The book was called The Science of Perfect Weight. And it was actually how to think, eat, and live yourself, live to achieve your perfect weight. So it really does start with a thought. So I was very grateful to be able to work with him. And I do want to share that anybody can do this. And so you can see on the left here, this is Jerry. Jerry came to me. He was a firefighter. He was quite overweight. And he was just so tired of trying to leg his way to work, trying to help others when he wasn't even taking care of himself. But just in a matter of a short time, following these principles, he was able to actually reach his optimal and happy for it. And then we have Lila. Lila came to me actually quite overweight, about 100 pounds. And what happened was there was a big mindset shift with Lila. And Lila, we had to really work hard with having her reinvent who she can be. And once you start to do that, you can start to see shifts and changes and transformations in a way that does stick. And then, of course, we have Rose. Rose with her big smile. Rose came to me with a big heart, but she was so into helping everyone else, but not herself. And then once we kind of shifted the way of thinking of, actually, if you take care of yourself, you can take care of others better, then things start to turn around. Even those that used to be in bodybuilding, used to be in the best shape, we did this in a way that wasn't healthy before, but we can actually do this in a way that is. And this is, again, shifting the way our mindset around food, having more food freedom, okay? There is a way to do that. And then we are way more proud when we look in the mirror, we're happy with our accomplishments, okay? This even helps when you're raising babies. So what I'm going to do is I want you, first of all, to think that selfish is not a dirty word. It is not. In fact, selfish is actually self-care. And remember the oxygen mask first, then you can breathe and help others as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you a little something to think about when you're thinking about reinventing yourself, and actually a way to kind of put yourself through this little exercise to then be able to get more clear on how you want to move forward after this talk, okay? Because really, you can learn this, but let's take action steps to make this happen. And what I highly encourage you to do is right after this, grab a journal. Because here's the thing, you want to implement this right away. And those that implement things right away are like 70% have a higher chance of actually accomplishing it than waiting another day, which is, again, it actually drops to 50% if you wait another day. And if you wait a week, it drops to like 25%. So let's give ourselves a fighting chance and go, listen, after this call, I'm going to grab a journal and I'm going to start to write exactly what my optimal health and my body and my life does look like. So I'm going to stop this share, and I am going to share with you a sheet of training. But before I do, I'm going to see if there's any other questions before I get into this next bit of training. Okay, perfect. So here we go. Back to the training. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I did share this with my private group just yesterday. I'm going to enhance it a bit for those that are part of my private group and still watching this. I'm going to add more layers to this. But what I wanted to do was share with you this information that I want you to really think about so that we can do this exercise after we're done and start to journal what your optimal life is going to look like. So what we're going to do is I want you to think of yourself as a peaceful warrior. So there's kind of two sides to this. We have a peaceful side and we have a warrior side, okay? And so we want to keep these two in balance. And so what I mean about being peaceful, that means starting the day actually heart-centered. Waking up, first thing that you're going to want to think about doing is waking up with gratitude, waking up with what is going great in your life, waking up with, wow, I am so grateful that I have this. Okay, there has to be something there. Even if you're down in depression or you're down in the dumps, there's always something there. If there was, what would it be? Okay, and this is how you can lift depression in just a moment's time, is to think of something that you are so grateful for. Okay, so that's how I want you to start your day. I want you to start your day thinking about what you're grateful for. Okay, and this is how we start our day heart-centered. You're starting the day with love, and we want to live our days with more love. So if we can all share more love, even today, say, I love you to your partner. Say, I love you to your kids. Say, I love you to, I say this to my clients. I love my clients. I love my clients. I think of them as like family. I just adore them so much. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And I want you to show tenderness to all, because here's the thing. You don't know what's going on with them. So here we can judge other people with their actions, but really, maybe we need to seek to understand first before being understood, because maybe something really bad happened to them and they're struggling with something, and that's why they're acting the way they are. So we need to really think about showing tenderness to all, okay? The other thing I want you to do living peacefully is I want you to, when you're outside in nature, which I want you to do as much as you can, I want you to actually tap into the trees. Yeah, tap into the trees, tap into the birds, tap into the flowers. And they're not like, you've heard the stop and smell the flowers for a reason. It makes you stop and appreciate nature. We live in such a beautiful, abundant world. It's full of love. We just need to open our eyes to it. So this is a whole new world for you. Okay, this is the rose-colored glasses world. Wouldn't you want to live here more than the other world? You can. It's all in what you see and how you feel and where you put your attention to. Okay, we need to put our attention more to the beauty of life, more to the beauty of nature. Okay, and when you do, this is really what helps lift depression. It helps with balancing mood. It helps with balancing stress, because we know stress is the biggest killer. How do you combat that? Get outside in nature and connect to everyone, everything. Hey, when you walk by somebody, say, hey, hi. Smile to more people. We need more smiles. We need more happiness. We need more heroes. We need more heroes than ever before. Okay, can you imagine a world if we all walked around smiling and we're outside and showed tenderness to all and lived with gratitude? What would the world be like? Well, we can do this one at a time, and that it actually starts with you. And so we want to cherish the simple graces, okay? Because they're right there for you to grab. It's right there. And then the other thing I want you to think about, when we're living peacefully, it actually does mean living simply. Doesn't that sound good? Just live more simply. And in fact, in my daily journal, I write that every single day for the past week, live more simply. Because we are bombarded with so much information. We are. And we get to choose which one we want to have. Well, what about just saying no to a lot of stuff and yes to just a few? Doesn't that sound good? Do we have to say yes to everything? If we're used to saying yes to everything, then I would take a step back and go, wait a minute, what's the most important? And whatever you focus on will grow. So if it's actually slimming down, getting strong, and feeling sexy, simplify that. Just really, really focus on that. Guard that. Be around people that are that. And if you don't have that, please get a hold of me, because I have a group that are that. And we can, if you join the group, you're automatically going to be that. So it's like a given, right? And so, yeah, so please reach out to me. I would love to talk to you about that. Anyways, we want to simplify our life, okay? That does mean going through, picking a day on the weekend and just getting rid of stuff you haven't used in a long time. Cleaning out your cupboards. Hey, going through your cupboards and cleaning out foods that you know are going to derail your health efforts. That's one of the best things you can do to be successful, because then you are not playing old tapes. You're actually reinventing yourself with, what do healthy athletes do? What do they eat? Are you eating like they are? Because we need to look at ourselves like athletes. We really need to do that. Because if you look at yourself like an athlete, you will be an athlete. And what do athletes eat? Whole foods. They eat real foods, okay? And they have rest times as well, okay? They go hard, but then they rest hard. And they eat real food, okay? So just think about living more simply and picking a day during the week to just remove old stuff you don't need anymore and start to reinvent yourself, okay? So that's a peaceful part of this peaceful warrior piece, okay? Now let's look at the warrior. What does a warrior do? Actually, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to see if there's any questions so far with anything that I've shared so far about being peaceful. Is this landing anywhere? Is this helping you at all? Do you feel that you could start to live more simply? Do you feel that you can start to maybe pick an afternoon and start to clear away old stuff that you don't need anymore? Do you think that this could really help you get into where you want to go, right? Reinventing yourself to who you want to be. Okay, so you're really special too. This is great. Absolutely right. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to move forward to the warrior piece now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and going back here. Okay, so we're going to talk about what does a warrior feel like. Okay, what a warrior does is the warrior takes difficult action when it comes to actually materializing or having your mighty, like reaching your mighty mission. So you have a mission. You must have a mission. If you don't have a mission, then you are just floating around. And that's like, how does that feel if you just float around? Is that fun? Well, what about having this goal or this mission or this something that you're looking to achieve? Isn't that fun? Well, we need to write that down. What is the mission that you want to accomplish? I know I have my missions and I'm working re-engineering backwards. So I have a 90-day plan. I know exactly where I want to be in 90 days and how I'm going to get there. Okay. But it does start with writing down what you want. And with my clients, we have 90-day plans. Here's what we're going to accomplish in 90 days, and we're going to work back to be able to accomplish that. And then you just take the daily steps to get there. Okay. Otherwise, what does your life look like? You're just like floating around like everyone else. Okay. And I know you're here to reach your optimal. Okay. And so this does take action. It does take difficult action. But then again, at the end of the day, isn't that more of an adventurous life than just kind of floating around? Likely. Mm-hmm. And so never give in. Just keep going forward. All right. Remember your rest times, but also keep moving forward. And I want you to live with the warrior's creed. That means always being faithful to what your vision is, this vision that you see, this image that you see, this impossible that you want to reach, right? Keep that vision front and center. Like it's almost like you're addicted to it. You need to be addicted to it. Okay, I'm addicted to health. And that's why I'm so healthy lately. I'm addicted to my family and having a close relationship with them. And so that's why we have a close relationship, is because I am addicted to guarding that. And I schedule my days to guard that. All right. And then, of course, personal development. So those are what I value. And so that's my vision. And so this is what I do. And it's like this crusade. And then you make promises to yourself. Okay. So it's like, when you want to reinvent your life, when you want to reinvent yourself, you really need to tell yourself, promise to yourself, I'm the type of person that this is who you are now. Make promises to yourself. And if you want to take it a step above, tell them to other people, because you don't want to disappoint them. Tell them to people you don't want to disappoint. I say this to my family because I don't want to disappoint them. I will literally say it out loud so that I force myself to make this goal. And that is the best way, because again, if you look back, where is your life going to be if you don't? And so write these promises down, say them out loud, and you are going to see success will be right there. And then just be consistent with taking your steps, okay? And you will get to where you want to go. It's a guarantee. With resolve and with patience. Again, we do need patience. But again, if you think about this, anybody here ever get married? Wasn't it like fun working your way into creating this like big day? And then after the day, that was it? But wasn't the fun like working your way into that big day? I know for me it was. And so you want to have patience with your big goal, because enjoy every step of the way to get to the goal. Because once you've reached the goal, there'll be another goal. So just allow and enjoy the journey. All right. Enjoy the journey. So here we talked about being a peaceful warrior. Living with peace is living with love, showing tenderness, and living simply. Being a warrior is actually taking difficult action towards your mighty mission. All right. And keeping your word to yourself. On the flip side, what does the other side look like? Well, it's lazy. It's, yeah, I don't feel like it. No, I don't feel like it today. How do you feel about yourself when you do that? Like, do you have more confidence? So you're asking for confidence, but you're not doing the work to get the confidence. Really think about that. So if it's lazy, you know what? Go do it anyway. And I know there's times I feel lazy. There is. I'm not motivated. You know what I do? I think of the movie in advance and I go, hey, if I do this, what is my day going to look like if I do? And if I don't, what's my day going to look like if I don't? And then I can make my decision. But you really need to think ahead. This will get you past the laziness, and you'll find that once you start moving forward, you'll be so much more confident. It's like, yeah, I did it anyway. Way to go. And then you'll go to bed with a great sleep, knowing that you had a great day, right? So on the flip side, again, you've got laziness, you have surrendering, you've got, oh, I said I would, but I never did. What kind of life is that? It's, this is a life that leads to regret. And at the end of the day, you know what? We're not going to live forever. Do you want to live with regrets? Because we have to think about every single day that we live. And it's moving towards this mission, okay? And you are going to our life is meant to be solving problems. That's what life is. You will have obstacles. How are you going to deal with them? Because they're going to happen anyway. So do you want to live a life of regret, or do you want to live a life of wow? I rocked it. Okay. And so that's really what you want to think about. So basically, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to ask you a question right now. Good. I'm going to ask you a question right now. Remember, you're going to grab your journal after and we're going to start to write, right? So here you are, your version A. I got goosebumps. I don't know if you guys do, but I do. This is really good, deep stuff, okay? So you're here, version A, right? You know version B. Version B is a better version of everything of you. A better body, a better brain, a better showing up for the day, and realizing your mission, right? Who do you want to be? You have a choice. You have a choice. You have stay where you are, maybe go backwards, live with regret. It's true. We're facing this right front and center. I had to do this, and it's great. It's so empowering, right? Or version B, right? Just every day, living the life of adventure, moving towards your optimal. Okay, because at the end of the day, you are going to look back and go, wow, look what I did. Why don't we start now? Why don't we start today? Like today, after this, the journal, you're going to write this down. I think it's a really good idea. Okay, version B. Okay, I love all this. So I had to face this, and it's very, very empowering. So you're speaking to me today. I need my spunk back. Perfect. Okay, so it just bing. Here we go. Magic wand. You've got it back. So you are now granted this right now to reinvent yourself today, like really today. And so it's up to you to have faith that it's going to work out. Have intention. How does it feel? And the third thing is you really need to find a plan because it's all about systems. It's not about wishing. It's wishing and wanting, but it's also about doing. But you need a plan that is going to work because otherwise it's a waste of your precious time. So find a plan, find a system that's going to work for you. Okay. And so that's how you get your spunk back. And if you need help, just let me know. I'm here for you. Okay. How do we deal with obstacles? So every day you'll have an obstacle. So it's how you look at the obstacle. So it's like the first thing I think about. I love that question. First thing I think about when I have an obstacle, like today, we had all the electricity was out in the entire part of Mexico. We had no electricity. I'm like, oh no, I have my live show. I really want to do my live show. What am I going to do? And so, so you need to choose how you're going to deal with this. So we find solutions to obstacles. So it's like the first thing I say to myself is, I got this. I got this. Okay. I'm confident I can find a solution. So just know deep inside that you have the confidence to find the solution. And then what you do is you find people to help you. Because we're not meant to be alone. We're meant to be with other people. And we all have our skill sets. And so the first thing is, how do you deal with obstacles? Oh, great. Awesome. I'm strong enough to handle that. That's the first thing. Okay. Second thing, who can I ask for help? And then what happens is when they help you, you help them. Because it's got to be this win-win back and forth, checks and balances. I know I always think of this with my friends and my family. Am I giving enough? Am I taking enough? It's got to be kind of balanced. If it's not balanced, you're kind of not with the right people, right? You have energy vampires that just suck. Well, that's not really a right relationship. You need one that's balanced. But it does mean giving to them and them to you. So first thing is, I've got this. I have the strength to be able to do this. So that's how I deal with obstacles, and then find people to help you. Well, I'm glad that we have someone who wants to be version B. I love that Larry said B plus. That's that's a winner right there. Okay, for sure, Larry. That's really, really good. You're welcome. And so that's good. I'm going to end with one more bit of information that I'm going to leave you with. Okay, and that is this. Where I'm going to go with this is this. I don't know if you've heard the story about the crabs in the bucket. Okay, so I really want you to visualize this right now. And so the crabs in the crab bucket, these are all the people that you surround yourself with, right? These are the people you surround yourself with. You're in a bucket. Now, are you the crab that's ready to escape and go to a bigger bucket? And the other crabs are pulling you back? Or are you the crab that's holding the other crabs back from escaping? Because really, you need to think about pulling yourself away from mediocrity and into where you need to go. Okay. This also means when you're speaking to people, allow them to live in the impossible too. Instead of being so realistic, what about just living more in imagination? Okay, so this is where we need to move our minds to, is we need to move our minds more into imagination, because leaders are imaginative. It's the office workers and the clerks and all those, the ones that follow everyone else. They're all the realistic people. We need more with imagination. We need more heroes. We need more leaders. Okay, and so this is what's going to help us move into a new future, a brighter future for all of us. Okay, so I need you, please, to think differently. Okay, and go beyond the slim, strong, and sexy, and start to think your way to what's possible. Okay, so what is possible? You can do this. And so, are you ready to commit to yourself? Are you ready to be that man or the woman you are meant to be? Okay, version B. And if anyone here is needing some help and they need a plan, please reach out to me. I'm happy to schedule a strategy call. We can talk about where you are, where you want to go, and then create a clear plan so that you can actually get to where you want to be. I want to thank you so much for today's call. And I'm going to go back to see if there's any more questions. Anyone else have any more questions here? Okay, good. Okay, so I know I went a little over today. I'm so sorry. And I want to thank you so much for so I got this really good. So Larry's saying he was the crab that blamed the other crabs. Now I want my own bucket. Boy, this is good. I love the way you're thinking, Larry. Yeah, we want our own bucket for sure. Absolutely. That's really, really good. Joanne and Mike, you're very welcome. And any other questions or comments? I will see you next week. And now that we've done the 10 steps to slim, strong, and sexy, I am going to really think about the next training segment that I'll be doing. So any ideas on what you guys want to learn, I'm happy to, provide that. I have some ideas, so I'm going to maybe ask you guys what you guys want to learn, but every Wednesday at 12 PST, I will be doing a live training on how to get, our optimal health. Okay, so thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next week.